Well, this is the first one of these. Just happy to have one of my goodest friends down to help me out get started on this. Jason Bostrom.
I think early on when I like first started drifting, I mean maybe it kind of goes along with being. I started when I was like just after my 16th birthday, and like so I'm still high school kid, like basically immature as compared to now. Hopefully,
So you've like almost been drifting half your life at this point.
I'm drifting for 11 years.
Yeah,
Yeah, so almost half my life. I'm 28 now, so
yeah. That's like
yeah, damn, way to in deep. Yeah. But yeah, and I've had the same car the whole time too.
yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, which if you look underneath those panels, it shows 11 years of fucking doing crazy.
Debauchery.
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't get to where you're at by never crashing ever.
What was that?
I said you didn't get to where you're at by never crashing ever.
The weird thing is that like I can't remember. I've never crashed like really bad.
Just car contact.
Yeah, but I guess the worst ones would be like when I hooked the front of my car on the back of
I
your
knew
car.
this. I knew this was coming.
That's one of them because
Yeah,
that was, I mean, that shoved my wheel like through my firewall.
yeah.
And
That's
then the
that's
other
my
one
bad,
was that damn pothole in in Canada,
that
which I
was
was
gnarly,
following your car again. So
dude. I mean, I guess what you're saying is that you can't hang, dude. Just
yeah, not behind you. I just like I get all flustered and it's funny because when we were going to the final bout, a month ago, like I thought to myself, I was like, all right, this is redemption. Like I'm gonna follow Palmer. I'm gonna go down the hill at Horse Thief, and I'm not gonna put any part of my suspension through anything it's not supposed to be in. So
they filled in the ditch. It was amazing. I
yeah,
don't.
but well, I had dirt dropped a little bit, and it's like they had just filled it in, so it's
Yeah,
pretty
yeah, yeah,
soft. Like you
yeah,
dip a wheel into it, and it's like whoop, carves it out.
yeah, yeah. I went off pretty good a couple times. I was like pretty much my car shakedown from all my
Oh, I know.
engine stuff.
I
So
like I mean, besides the fact that like with all this, like all the changes and like last minute stuff you had to do with the car, like I think it went like really well.
yeah, it was cool. I got to drive I got to take my brother out. There was no one on balcony, so I just let my brother do donuts in my car on balcony. Like that was cool. Like he hasn't ridden in my drift car since he was like, I don't know, 14 or really young.
Was
He hasn't like come to an event in like a super long time. So that was sick, man.
That
I
was when you
missed,
were 13 too, right?
yeah, like KA, like
Yeah.
KA days. So
KA all day.
it was real crazy. Like I got to, throw it in third,
Yeah.
just like throw 90, and he was like, ah, like this is
Yeah.
so different, So it was cool, man.
Yeah. Yeah. One actually, I mean, kind of sidetrack or side. Yeah. One cool thing, I wish we all lived actually closer to Willow Springs because I didn't know that like if you sign up for their like membership, like $50 a month or whatever, like you can go in on any day and like pay to test on any open track.
Yeah. And you
Like,
can there's a membership, and same with Grange or
yeah,
Apple Valley Speedway.
yeah, but I mean, it's like
Apple Valley Speedway is still open. You can go there.
I know. Yeah, Ken's going actually in like a week or two. I'm finishing his car for him.
I'm kind of scared in these like questionable economic times to go tow my car down to Southern California to go drive Grange while my car looks nice, because Grange is not nice
Oh,
to cars.
Grange is like a no. Grange is I mean, you already know, but Grange is an event where I mean, at least when we all go together,
Yeah,
is like the day where it's like I'm refreshing my car after this.
yeah,
Kind of.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I got my car got shot for a magazine before Super E 2018, and at the end of the event, it was just like totaled.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I like because Facebook is reminding all of us now of like the last Super D Matsuri event. at Grange,
Mm-hmm.
and like so I'd seen pictures from when I was towing the car down there. I was like, oh, actually, I like had all the like the under panels. It was running a racing line. I had all the under panels. Everything was on, and then I looked at pictures afterwards and stuff. I was like, oh yeah, like literally everything was off the car. My whole door was black from tire marks up the side of it, and like over
Yeah, I
fender.
mean, but you were like, California Fujio at that event. Like you were just running in front, getting
Yeah, I was getting
marked up. That was sick, man. I was really proud of you that day.
I didn't realize that like I think it was like Sunday morning. I was like coming down the straightaway of like that weekend, and like the car like every lap felt weird, kind of like the back end was like walking one way or the other.
Mm-hmm.
And I just didn't think anything of it because car's still working, we're still drifting, whatever. And then like I went and was like fixing stuff after the event, and I realized that my rear lower control arm ball joint was like busted. It like busted through the lower control arm, so it wasn't connected to the car at all. So my rear knuckle on one side was just like hopping on a lower control arm, basically for like an entire day.
I mean, yeah, it's kind of crazy when you think about like car setup and stuff. Like there's definitely events where we have like, I don't know, I had one where my like upper control arm essentially like the bushing was so gone that literally like I was gaining like plus or minus like 2 or 3 degrees of camber, like depending on which way the car went. I was like, my car feels weird. Like
that's that progressive alignment.
Yeah, I was like, it's like gripping up and then not. Like I don't know what's going on. And but you just like drive through it. Like I think that's kind of the difference of like driving for a long time is like you can kind of like get through that stuff.
Yeah.
And it kind of shows that it's like in drifting, like setup is important, but like seat time is way more important because you can drive around like a loose control arm or missing bushing or whatever.
You're able to adapt.
To a point.
It's just exactly. Adapting. I mean, that's kind of what you're doing in drifting anyways. It's like just adapting to whatever like the current situation is.
Yeah.
Whether the car is 100% or not, like no two runs are exactly the same as one another. So you're always kind of just making little adjustments depending on what's going on.
Exactly.
So it's like if your car's fucked up while you're drifting, you don't really know. I mean, unless like the engine's cutting out or something like that. Like you don't really know. You just kind of make corrections to whatever the car wants to do, and then afterwards you figure out like, oh, this was halfway off or something like that. Or
what do you do when you go to a new track for the first time and you're going out like first lap? Do you take it like kind of conservative, or do you just go for it?
I used to, but now I just cool. I used to do like a race lap or something like that because I think that's just what like most people always told me to do when I had like first started. Because obviously, I mean, the safest thing is to go out and like figure out what the hell like the course is, the line is, whatever. But I don't know now, like
you can just adapt and like you're in drift. You're like, okay, upshift here,
kind of like
downshift there.
You take like the first lap or two of like just going out and drifting it, and like take the first lap or two to figure out like, oh, okay, like throw it into a turn. Okay, this is too fast or this is too slow going into this turn, or like I need to like carry a little bit more speed or straighten out a little bit to get more speed into the next turn. But like I guess I kind of figure it out now through drifting it like the first time out rather than just doing a racing line.
I feel like of the team members, you're the one who changes your setup the least, which I think like allows you to kind of get really consistent because you just
I mean, it's my car's been the same car for the last, well, I mean, mine like I think 2 years ago now I switched to B knuckle, and like that was the only, and like raised the front of the car a bit and stuff, and like that was the only big change since for like 4 years prior to that.
Yeah, I mean, like I drove your car pre B knuckle like a while ago, and it was exactly the same as I drove it like right before you switched.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, the pre B knuckle, pre B knuckle, and then like driving it with B knuckle, like, yeah, your car feels pretty good. It feels like you're just comfortable like driving your car as is. Like if the alignment's off a little bit or whatever, you can drive it. But like
Oh
the
yeah.
like,
I don't think I've like actually tried. I don't think I've checked the alignment on my car in like a year or so. Like
sick.
it's definitely probably not what it was before, but
Yeah,
like I mean I don't know. Like I
yeah,
just basically I don't change anything unless the car feels off.
yeah. Like your car hasn't been on an alignment rack in like
No.
years.
Yeah, yeah,
My car hasn't been on an alignment rack since I bought it.
yeah. I mean it only like and so I mean I think I don't know. I think like first time out with like any car, it's nice to get like stuff like laser aligned.
Yeah,
And then I think, I mean, but I think even from that, you have to immediately go and you drive it and then change it to what feels good
yeah,
for yourself. Because I've had the drift car like actually properly aligned and like have had to change it because it doesn't feel right.
yeah. That's your daily behind you, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
which this is never. I think I got an actual alignment on this like probably 4 years ago,
I
and
drove it. It drives really well.
yeah. Well,
It drifts well.
now it should actually because we've had I mean more time at home, but I mean it hasn't really been different for me because I'm either at school or at home, but now I'm just at home and at home. Um, but like I've just like fixed a lot of like new steering rack and like finally put little like spacers for the tie rods because I had B knuckle but I didn't have tie rod spacers and like did new lower control arms and replaced some more like bushings and stuff and
Yes, that's right. Jason has B knuckle on his daily.
yeah. And but I haven't been able like I did all this like 2 weeks ago, but the car's just been in the garage, so I haven't like actually driven it. I'm waiting to go do some testing somewhere like on a closed road.
Got it. Okay. Noted.
Yeah,
Uh,
but
I mean, yeah,
yeah,
gotta stay safe, you know.
yeah.
Uh, but yeah, so I mean, that's cool. Do you think that the like daily car allows you to go drive a bit more than taking like the your
It's a good alternative, I
yeah,
would say. Like if like during the school semester, it's hard like for me money wise, obviously, because I'm not working a lot
yeah,
and I'm at school all the time. So the daily car is perfect for like Wednesday nights at Sonoma just to go like drive and not just get some sort of drifting in.
mm,
Um, but then like I've taken it to Thunderhill skid pad where I would normally take the drift car, but like this car, like tires for this car are super cheap, and
yeah,
I just use regular. Like I'll top off with a little bit of 100 octane just to kind of be nice to it at the
mm,
racetrack. But
mm,
like it's I drive it to the event, so I'm not towing it, and it's just regular gas. It's just 91, so it's cheaper than the leaded fuel for the drift car.
does it mess with you when you get back in your drift car, or does it actually help because you're like, oh, I can really go crazy in this thing versus
No, it helps. Like I think now because I've like actually, well, if I were to go drive the car now, I think this would maybe be a little bit more steering wise like the drift car because I've actually finished putting the rest of like the B knuckle setup on it. Where before it was like just the knuckle, and I didn't do like no spacer, no tie rod spacer, no like nothing. So like it wanted to snap like B knuckle, but it wouldn't because I had the bump stop still on it and stuff too. It wanted to snap like B knuckle, but it wouldn't want to like have the angle like B knuckle.
got it?
So it was actually a little bit harder because it wanted to be quick and snap to big angle, but like then it wouldn't have big angle. So it was like trying to keep the car from snapping too hard. And like obviously this car's a lot slipperier than the drift car because I like this. I buy like 195 50 15s,
Yeah.
like $35 a tire online.
Yeah.
As opposed to 265 grippy boys on the on the drift car.
Yes, a little different.
So it's different, but like I think this is almost a little bit harder. It takes me a second to adjust to this after driving the drift car, and then once I drive this a little bit, it like allows like because it's a bit more of a floatier setup. I can practice, I guess, like a super slippery condition like the drift car would be in. And
cool.
so like and then when I hop back in the drift car, it's like I can go as fast as I want, I can throw as much angle as I want, and like I know it's not gonna like the car's not gonna spin out. I'm gonna be able to pull out of whatever, and yeah, so it's good practice. We just don't get to do it enough, obviously.
Yeah. I wish I had like a cool daily car I could go drift with you at Sonoma, but
well, you have that convertible now.
I mean, yeah, and I just found out that my spare trans bolts up to it.
I know. That's like a you and Shelmy project?
Yeah, it was like that's how it started. Our friend Megan's dad had it just like rotting in their driveway and was gonna get donated, and I was like, hey, what's up with this car? And then she's like, oh, he's gonna donate it, and I was like, well, I'm interested. And they said, you just have it, just come pick it up with a trailer, get it running or whatever. So it's kind of like Sean and I put some money in, we both put some time in. Looks pretty nice now. It's like lowered on some BBSs,
Well, I've been
classy.
seeing stories, and even in Shelmy's stories of her like.
She's like, it's kind of exciting because she's not really into cars much, so it's like I'm like trying to find a way. Like she likes F1 because she likes the drama.
Yeah.
But like
the automotive drama series.
Yeah, like I'm thinking like maybe it might be fun to like do a little autocross with it or something, like let her drive, maybe like include her more because I mean, you just got married, like
yeah.
Francesca's like super down to help out with drifting. Like it's nice to have that like partner who can be supportive.
Yeah, for sure.
And like understand, certain decisions or whatever.
We definitely don't have like a solid camping pit space set up if it wasn't for Francesca.
That is true. That's absolutely true.
So
she's out there with the Trader Joe's snack spread.
Mm-hmm.
And if you ask her really nicely, she'll share the good beer with you.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to be. I mean, if she shares
post driving.
If she shares the good beer with you, it's because you're actually one of her friends. Yeah.
Yeah, unlike the time that after drifting, I knocked out the growler of very, very specific favorite cider ever.
Yeah.
Sorry, Francesca.
That's all right. We have plenty of growlers, Palmer. It's okay.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you think? So like drifting now, we kind of have like this like I don't know. We have like a little family, and we like go drifting, and we like hit these events or whatever. And we kind of like do some international stuff. Like, do you see like what do you see in the future of that? Like, are you trying to do more international stuff? Like, you
like? So I think basically just similar to what we're doing now, just more of it, like more frequently. If we can make it happen, basically.
Yeah.
But like my whole plan, I mean, you've seen it, and I've sent you messages and stuff of like Ryan's old car. Like I took that, and I'm trying to make that into something I can send and leave into Japan because I want to go to Japan at least. Like I think the current goal to go to Japan is like twice a year or something. And so for me, it's like I'm gearing up for like we're not there yet. Nobody's going twice a year right now. But like I'm gearing up for getting that car done hopefully by this time or a little bit later, like next year, and sending that over there. And then to start off like at least twice a year going to Japan. And then, I mean, Japan aside, like anything, like obviously I want to go back to New Zealand. Like New Zealand was too good. Like I didn't.
Yeah.
I would have been totally happy if I just didn't get to drive anything at all.
Yeah, me too, man.
I got like
Same.
everything there,
Shout
besides, even just besides the drifting, was like the shit.
Yeah. Shout out to Ruben's front bumper. Sorry about that.
Hey, he doesn't own the car anymore, so it's okay.
Brandon and I like zip tied that thing. Zip tie fixed it in the pit like right away. I was like, oh no, what did I do?
Yeah.
I just wanted one good one, man. I wanted a good one so bad. I wanted a fourth gear, just like flyer. And
Dude, I mean, Hampton Downs is. Maybe I'm just like saying because like making excuses or whatever, but like going fast in a right-hand drive car when you're used to a left-hand drive car is like seems exponentially more difficult than doing like skid pad in a right-hand drive car.
That's what I was saying. I was like, I've driven Julian's car on the skid pad a bunch of times. It's not challenging, like upshift to go to third, but it's like it's that like downshift timing and then downshift where's the gear that I want, right? Like, and on Hampton you're going from like fourth to third, so like you're on the other side of the car and you throw it in, you're like, third? Where's third? Is it this way? Yeah. And then by the time you've made that, calculation, you're like flown off the track because you just clutched in for 45 seconds. And
that's probably what like when I was driving Ruben's car, it might have been because I had to think about it, where normally you don't have to think about it. Where
you did great, man.
You're
doing really well.
Where maybe the car slowed down too much because I guess like I mean we had some small issues with Ruben's car and it was like a little bit down on power compared to like the shop
everyone else's,
the other cars and stuff. So like I would throw it in fourth and then have to downshift to second to make sure it would like stay in boost, and then back, and then like come outside of the turn a little bit, like upshift to third, like clutch kick across, clutch kick back in. And so like my left hand was like all kinds of confused. It's doing all these things that it doesn't normally have to do when I'm drifting.
Yeah, it's like I could drift the infield no problem. Like after the big corner, it was like, all right, throw this in. It's like what to do with the pedals and the wheel, but it's like the shifter and the e-brake. And I used to say it was just the e-brake, but I think it's also the shifter too.
Yeah, well, because I mean, when you first learn drifting, like you're thinking about everything, and then after that,
just muscle memory.
It's just it's second nature. It's like a knee-jerk reaction. You don't think about it anymore. You just kind of look to where you want to go, and like your body just knows kind of what to do. So when you do that, it's like learning how to drift all over again, but you're expected to go way, way faster than when you were first starting to learn how to drift.
When did you realize like you got into drifting? I remember this very fondly because it was like when we first became friends, I was like trying to make a little video with like you and Julian about like going to FD and stuff. Yeah. And you told me you got into drifting because of Tokyo Drift, and I told you to never tell anyone that ever again.
Yeah.
But I'm calling it out right now.
That's fine. So like, I mean, I watched Tokyo Drift when I was in middle school, and like obviously lived in my parents' house. Parents didn't have a desktop computer. I didn't have YouTube or the internet or anything to look after. So literally it was who took me to watch that? It was my grandma my Greek grandma.
Okay.
Like took me to the movies because we were like in Napa. She lived in Napa. We went to Napa for the weekend to hang out or whatever. She took me to the movies and asked me what movie I wanted to go see. I was like, oh, I want to go watch Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift, and watch that. That was literally my first.
That's crazy, man.
That's so cool. We had TV at home, so I could see for it.
Yeah.
But like, I didn't have internet or anything, so I didn't know what drifting was. So like, that was my first cool. Drifting.
When did you get to the point where you knew that like this is something that you're really good at and you want to pursue like seriously?
I think.
And are we pursuing it seriously? I just mean like, when did you realize it's going to be like a pivotal point of your life? Like,
yeah, like this is something that you can't.
This is your identity at this point. Like,
yeah, it's something you can't like. I couldn't deal with not ever doing it for the rest of my life, basically.
Yeah.
But honestly, and I think maybe it was like my very first skid pad event, I met Julian and Al at my very first skid pad event.
Crazy.
They were in, like, Julian's back was hurt because his back was always hurt, and and like so he didn't have a car there, but I don't know if he had a car at that point. But Al was there with his car, which is like still his current car, and they were both using like Al's car, which then like the first couple years I knew Julian, like he was always only using Al's car.
It's true. I remember that.
Yeah. But I think honestly it was like after that first drift event, like I thought maybe, I mean at the time, like because I could skid the car in like first gear, like kind of around like a turn that they set up on the skid pad, that I thought I was really good because I had nothing to like compare it to. Like I was just like, oh yeah, that felt like really cool, and I think it was really good. So like, I don't know, it just kind of like got me from there, and then I like played around a little bit like in some parking lots and like got circles and figure eights down, and then like kept going to drift events at Thunderhill, and then like I think everybody kind of, I don't know, I think everybody like early on when they like feel like they're progressing like quickly, like kind of like they get like a cockiness to them, or like like feeling like they're the shit.
I did for sure.
Yeah. And like when you look at it now, it's like, oh man, that's terrible. But like, I think it's that feeling. I mean, it feels good when you think you're good at something. So like you want to keep doing it, and then at some point maybe you like actually get good at it.
Yeah. So like that's
what I think it was like early on. I like semi tricked myself into thinking I was really good at it, so I like really liked it and thought I was good and kept going.
So that's where the nickname Baby J came from. Like Julian gave you that because you were like 16.
Yeah, and they were all. I mean, I think they were like 20 or 21 or something. So it was like
crazy.
Yeah, like everybody is like little, but yeah, that was that was I was the only little, like the younger one, I guess, in like that immediate group that was there at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So like, and I kind of kept bugging, like Julian and Al, like going over to their house and like trying to like get my car like fixed up and stuff.
Sick.
And, like, kind of bugging, like seeing what they were doing, like, oh, you want to like go out and like hit some parking lots or whatever, like. And
well,
then
calm down, young one.
Yeah, and I think when it like ultimately somebody's calling me. Can you hear that?
Yeah, that's cool.
Why are you calling me, Napa? I don't know you. I mean, my brother lives in Napa, though. That's not him. But
could be your grandma. I said her grandma's from Napa. Didn't you get? Is that the same grandma you gave a ride along to?
No, that grandma she lives in Santa Rosa.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Jason gave his grandma a ride along at Grange, and she said, "Don't hold back," and he threw it in. So savage.
Something like that.
Yeah, she didn't want a mini ride or something. I can't remember what the exact word
I
was.
wasn't gonna like do I wasn't gonna like try and run tandem with somebody, because if like on the off chance somebody ran to the door of my car or something, and like it wouldn't like wreck, it wouldn't kill my grandma, but it would probably do something. Yeah.
Yeah, she was so cool, dude. That was like the coolest thing ever. It was like right after the wedding because everyone was down in Southern California, so like.
Yeah.
She just went for it, man. Like that was savage.
Yeah.
And then you didn't hold back at all, and we were all standing at the fence like.
Ray get like just a normal solo run.
Your dad was smiling so hard. It was cool, man.
Well, because I always thought like she's always said she wanted to come out and like ride in the car, but like I would be at Sonoma, which is like super close, and she would never come out. So like, oh, okay, she's making excuses. And then now, like, I mean, it just worked out Like my grandma doesn't. She just doesn't like to drive anywhere. It's not that she doesn't want to do anything. It's like she just doesn't want to go anywhere.
She was there. She was there, and it was like, all right, sure.
Yeah, she
Give it
was
a
right.
shot.
I mean, she went down to the wedding with my parents, so obviously, like coming back, my parents were planning on stopping by anyways.
So it just worked out.
Yeah,
That's
so
cool.
it was perfect.
Yeah. How does your family like? Is your family pretty supportive of your drifting?
Oh yeah, yeah. My both my parents collect like all the event posters that we get, like the one from New Zealand or like some Super D events and stuff. Like they take all yeah, like that. So they do the same thing. They frame all the event posters and stuff and have it in their office.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, your parents are super nice.
Yeah. I think my mom initially, I mean, actually both my parents initially, this was like back in high school because I started drifting my junior year of high school. But I was also like super big and like I was doing basketball and like the team schools, travel schools, like wanted to like go all the way with it and stuff. And like for the longest time, basketball had been like everything, kind of like how drifting is now.
Mm-hmm.
And
not many know this, but Jason was actually on the And One mixtape.
Yeah. Yeah, I wish. I mean, I watched enough of them that I should have been on it. But like, I think they were sad initially that I was like really getting like deep into cars and my attention was shifting from basketball to cars.
They're like, there goes the scholarship.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can't get a scholarship for drifting.
There goes the the NBA child that we're gonna brag about. But no, not like, I mean, it was only like maybe, I mean, by the time I was done with high school and I was like, I think the first year after high school was on like, I was trying to compete with drifting like seriously to do the whole Formula D thing. And that's when they, I think, got behind like not caring that I wasn't doing basketball anymore.
Yeah, they saw that it was something that you're competitive in and you were like actually capable of doing.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, because you did Pro-Am like way back.
2011.
Yeah, so you got your pro license when you were how old?
19.
Yeah, and so like that's about when I met you and Julian.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, met you first at Sonoma. And
yeah, and I think you came over to. We were doing stuff.
You sold me my first Aero for my S13.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was
you're like, hey man, you gotta this stock body stuff's gotta go, man. And he sold me like, I think it was like a broken charge speed bumper, rear bumper, some side skirts, and they were like Vertex side skirts reps. Yeah. And then I think it was a Vertex front bumper too. No, side skirts were like Uros.
Yeah, you're right.
Like type 2, I think. And I put all that on and I drove it to the gas station. Some dude's like, dang man, like that car is crazy. And I was like, Jason knew, man. I was like, it's time. I remember.
Yeah, I should have probably. Honestly, I probably should have like kept all that and like not cut my car up and not try to do FD. But like, yeah. It's all learning experience.
Yeah, you made me an offer I couldn't refuse. That was cool, man. I like her. That was like when my car really like started to come together. It was like SR at the time, I think. Yeah, it was like SR, and then like right after that, I got the like definitely probably stolen work equips from like East San Jose on Craigslist. The guy like met me and like was real. It was an interesting interaction. And then like slapped all that on and went to Super Am. Yeah. And then Julian told me to take the body line off the car, like the black body line. He's like, take that black body line off. And I was like, I don't know, man. I think it looks good. And then I took it off and I was like, oh yeah, he knows what he's talking about. Okay.
I'm speaking kind of like side to that. Speaking of, I'm like actually probably putting the body line on this car.
All right.
Stock Aero.
Do you, man?
Stock body. I think it, adds a little something to it, but
do you?
I think a kitted car for sure.
Yeah. Take the body line off.
Yeah. Like stock body, you're trying to look like you maybe have something. So like,
it's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, those were good times, man. Like early days, I was like, you guys were trying to make FD. You guys were like really, really. You guys were driving like all the way like 2 hours plus every weekend just to go work on the cars,
Yeah.
and like that whole like chaotic, hectic, unfortunate experience.
Yeah. I
But
consider that like if there was like I consider that my UTI or my YOTech or anything like that is like the day I took my car away from like that whole scenario and like and then had to take it away from the second scenario
yeah,
and like had to basically start from nothing in my parents' garage and get the car back to like what it is now.
yeah. Now you're like very capable.
Yeah, now I don't want anybody else touching any of my stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we all kind of like got to that point. Like there's like a point where you're like, okay, like I can't do this myself. And then there's a point where you're like, I can't afford to have anyone else do this.
Yeah, and you have to like and the thing like you know, you trust somebody to like work not to say that like every you know, you should understand your capabilities, I guess. And like not to say that like you shouldn't have anybody do any kind of work on your car, but it kind of like that whole thing with me is that like I had trusted somebody to do it and like it really didn't work out. But then like at the end of the day, like they're off the hook and I still am out all this money and like starting from zero. And so that's what kind of makes like, okay, I have to learn this. But then like along the way, you still have to like, there's still stuff you don't know, but you just, I guess you do more research and like you have certain friends that are good at certain things and like
Yeah.
you then can trust them, like the one person, to do the one thing on the car, not the whole thing. Then you can
Yeah.
go from there, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like, I think it's kind of one of those things where, like, someone explained to me that there's like the essentially looking at a situation, like, if you had a negative experience, like, there is a positive outcome. Like, the universe is very, like, you know,
Yeah.
balanced, right? Like, you having that negative experience, like, got you to the point where, like, you realized that you had to learn how to maintain your car,
I had to learn
and
how to
then you
work.
did. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Like,
I was
build a
like,
car, maintain a car, support a car. Like, I think that's like the most challenging thing in like the grassroots stuff is like we're, you're your pit crew, you're your
yeah,
your transportation driver, you're the driver, and your own spotter. Like,
yeah.
to compare it to like FD or whatever, like you're everything. It's like you're either like, so I think there's some challenge there, but like, yeah, I guess most people don't know that like you were gonna do Long Beach and you had your motor like fail essentially. Like,
Yeah, my
you know,
motor blew up on the dyno like a week and a half before we were supposed to go to Long Beach.
yeah, like Jason was like legit going to go. He had like
Yeah,
a
Julian,
hundred percent.
Julian and I had like both registered, like we were registered to Long Beach, and
Yeah,
like
Francesca got an Airbnb. I remember it was like
yeah, we got
you were
everything. Like,
going.
everything was set in place. I got time off work and like paid for the because you have to pay for your crew cards and like shit like that and stuff. Like I paid for it, and then we like we're gonna go run like we're gonna try and like get a bit more power to the car, and like motor seized up on the dyno, and it wasn't anything to do with the tuning or running more boost, but like the person at the time that put the motor together, it just like ate itself alive and seized the motor. So
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
I would say the positive side of that is you went full psycho and built like a really really nice SR that's lasted you
Yeah.
since then, right? Which is like, how long ago was that? What year were you gonna do FD? I think it was like 2012 or something. 2013, 2012.
Like summer of 13 is like when we actually like finished putting the motor together and like put it in the car and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like 7 years this summer.
yeah. So I mean, yeah, you were gonna do FD 2012, I think,
Yeah,
right?
I was gonna hit like I was gonna try and hit the last two rounds because like at that time you had your FD license for 2 years. So like the first year got kind of was a wash because of the shops and stuff like screwing things up and whatnot. And then into the, like halfway into the second year, coming into the second year, the second shop kind of screwing up that engine and like that becoming an issue. Then it took us probably 4 months for me to like I was working as much as I could, and like my parents loaned me some money, and like I was trying to pull any kind of, and like using credit cards and like using anything I could to like just get, because the car was fine, but the motor setup was, I had to build a motor.
Right.
And so I like going through it, I was like, this was my last attempt to like, if this motor blows up, like I'm done doing this right now. And so like I just went with everything and like just bought everything new and upgraded whatever, and like anything that was a supposed weak point, I bought like the stronger version of it. And like, so it led, it took a couple months and like a lot of gathering of money and stuff to put this motor together to do. I wanted, at that point, like I was going to lose my license anyways, but I wanted to like, for some my own satisfaction, or to like prove to myself that I could have done something or whatever, like I wanted to at least do like the last round or two just to get it and have a picture or something with like
yeah, because he put in all that effort for years. It was like,
yeah. And I think like it got to be, I think it was like Texas and then Irwindale, and I didn't make Texas because we had like just finished putting the car together, motor was broken and stuff, but like I didn't have any money to get there. And then I was like, okay, well, I have like a month and a half I can save until Irwindale, and then that's a lot closer, I can try and make it. By the time we got to that point, I was just like, I'm over trying to like beat myself up and stress myself out over it. Like my car is finally working, and it's like working well. Like I just want to go back to driving for fun and doing team stuff. And
I mean, yeah, that's kind of like what we did. Like,
yeah,
that was
a good move.
I was like, I wasn't on the team yet, but I was like hanging around a lot, and it seemed like that was kind of just like the consensus. It was like, let's just go have fun. Like Ryan was in FD at the time, and like he was like starting to kind of just, it was becoming more of like a job, I think, for him, and it was like fun.
For even, I think Julian, I can't speak for Julian obviously, but I think we kind of both looked at how Ryan's like program was going and stuff at the time, and it's kind of like Ryan's program was like put together, like he was doing all the rounds, he had some.
Yeah, and Ryan's an incredible driver.
Yeah, and he's a crazy good driver, and like, but you still see like he's still coming out like his own money for it, and like he's not getting to drive like a lot of other events outside of FD, and like he's just not having fun with it anymore. And
and it was like the year before everything got, it was like the year or two before like Daigo came, and like the horsepower wars like kind of started.
At that point it was like way over.
Yeah, so it's like you would have done a round and then been like, all right, now I need 1,000 horsepower. Like, okay.
Like I was gonna do my like 500 horsepower SR setup and probably like be okay.
Yeah.
At the time, but then like as soon as Daigo came over and started blowing everybody away with 1,000 horsepower JZ, and then everybody needed 1,000 horsepower.
We're like, all right, let's just have fun.
Can't afford that.
I had like little, I'm not gonna lie, like I had like little dreams of like going pro and doing all that, but I was like young, and I was like decent, but I wasn't like next level, so it was like kind of eye-opening to watch your guys' struggles, and I was like, I'm just gonna have fun with this. Like,
I think that's kind of how most people, like, obviously if you're doing something that's fun and like you're like, man, I want to do this as a job or something, like, and you think you're really good or you are really good or whatever, like the natural progression of things is to become like a professional in that like field. But kind of, I think what's kind of nice with drifting is that like whatever you consider successful with drifting, like doesn't necessarily, like doesn't have to mean you're a professional driver. Like you can be just as whatever you define successful to be. Like with drifting, you can be just as successful being a grassroots driver, having fun, and promoting companies or whatever in like that kind of way. Like you can be just as good or just as successful or not as like a pro driver who's having to do this whole thing year round all the time. And I don't know, I think it's drifting's pretty, I think, a pretty versatile motorsport in that aspect.
I would say that like once you get to the pro level, it's like easier to do some of the stuff that we like to do. But since we like focus on that, and it's like, I don't know, it's kind of hard to explain. I'm kind of speaking for the team. I probably shouldn't, but like it's nice to see that the level of dedication, like kind of across the board, like you see there's teams out there that just drive and drive and drive. And there's people out there that drive and drive and drive, like, and have been doing it a long time. It's like they don't have to try and go pro. It's like there's like, I don't know, it's like recognized. It's like, okay, they're dedicated to this, right?
Yeah.
Even if there isn't like a metric to compare the two, like it's like you still have, this person's super dedicated, this person's super dedicated, and it's like there's
2 different outlets.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like it's cool to see kind of what can come of that. Like it's been kind of crazy, like going on the ride with you guys, like going to Japan and going to New Zealand and like seeing people like, but I don't think that that's like a common experience for most, like to go to a foreign country to do the thing that you're passionate about.
No, I think that's why we all kind of like, we were all super appreciative and grateful for like any opportunity to do something that's not like, something everybody gets to do.
Yeah, I'd say we're pretty fortunate in that regard.
Yeah, no, for sure. And yeah, I hope we can somehow figure out to do more of that. Even if it's not like, even if it's like on our, on our dime, on somebody else's dime, whatever, like I think it's just, we should all, I think everybody should just try to put together these big events and like bring over friends they want to hang out with, and like do everything to make an excuse to like get somebody out so you can just hang out with them. It's like when we go to like New Zealand, like that whole thing, at least for me, like was like, it's just a big excuse to like meet your friends that you've been just talking to over the internet and you haven't been able to actually interact with because obviously we're oceans apart.
Yeah, and it's like you want to bring them over. You're like, all right, you guys did this for us. Like now your turn. Show you a good time.
Let's do an event over here and like bring Ruben and C's and everybody like over this way and like.
Yeah. I think I think that like international stuff has been really like exciting and like I think helpful for like breaking down the walls of like drifting culture and like kind of our weird subculture of drifting.
Yeah.
Like kind of like getting all those people together in the same space and like seeing them drive together is really exciting,
Yeah, it's a just getting more diversity with drift styles. Because obviously, like if you're in the US and you only drive in the US and everybody that is in the US has only driven in the US, like then it's its own thing. And like somebody in Japan, like it's going to be something completely different because there's no mix. So you get more mixing and then like everybody's getting all these different perspectives on like what makes a like good drift. And
it's kind of
everybody a better driver.
It's kind of exciting to see some of the like grassroots cars running like bigger tire sizes and like kind of just trying to elevate the sport. Like even on the low key level of just like fun events and stuff, it's like kind of fun to watch everybody like push the limits. And I think like in a way that's like kind of breaking down the walls between like the pro guys and the like grassroots guys, because once there's like kind of interaction and driving between the two, they're gonna be like, oh, okay, like this is like they're going fast, like this is this is exciting, like
Yeah.
And I think I don't know. I feel like there's going to be like more subcultures to come from this and like more subsets, but then there's also going to be kind of like some like
Probably, but
mutual understandings and
yeah.
whatnot.
I was gonna say, I think like basically what you just said is that like I think if there's more subcultures that come across, but everybody has an understanding of one another, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, like for example, like Hoonigan thinks like Animal Style and Final Bout and stuff like, and C's and all like that kind of drifting is cool. And then they also like FD, and it's like there's like they cater to what people like, so it's like
Yeah.
seeing that like people like a wide range of the stuff, but some people like all of it, it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that there's just gonna be like more and more opportunities if we just keep having fun.
Yeah, I don't like. I mean, I don't ever think like I'm not ever planning for myself to like bank any kind of income or sustainable anything from like having fun and drifting necessarily.
Yeah,
So
me either.
like that, I mean, like that's why like you didn't quit your job. I'm still going to school to do this whole engineering thing. Like we're all doing the thing. Like we understand that like the drifting it's the fun and it's our outlet, so that we don't have to just go to work every day and like that's it. But understanding that like it's not, I don't know. I think if we like, if we tried to blow it up in the sense where it's like we're gonna make a living out of this, one, it like wouldn't be as fun anymore to like go drifting or anything, because anytime we go to a track, we feel like we have to film this, that, and the other. Like, oh, we can't go on track until we have this shot done or whatever, or like,
Yeah, they turn into golden handcuffs.
yeah. But then also it's like you're not. It's coming back and around to like always doing it for the same reason that you got into it. Like we got into it because it was fun, and like nobody, like I wasn't planning on when I first went to my first drift day that like I'm gonna make a living out of this, and this is gonna be a job for the rest of my life. Like
Yeah.
I wanted to do it because it was fun and it was interesting, and like I think that's, if you can make a little bit out of it, like cool, but like you shouldn't. I don't think anybody should necessarily bank making a living off of it. Like still go on with doing the things that help you sustain like a normal life.
Yeah, I mean, if that does happen, cool. Like, good for you.
Yeah.
If you found a way, like if you make parts or whatever,
I
like
don't think
sick.
it should be plan A though. Like
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
I mean, depending on the situation, I don't think it should be plan A. I think there's always that plan B. Like I always tell myself, especially when I'm like, I mean, stressed out with like school shit and stuff, is like, my plan A is like engineering career and stuff and like making money so I can go drive, and then my plan B, which I always hope will end up working out someday but I don't bank on it, is like somebody just gives me money to go drive tracks and stuff like that.
Yeah, man. I mean, how sweet would that be?
Yeah, so it's like if the opportunity presents itself, fucking do it, but
yeah,
like
you sign your life away right there.
Yeah, but don't destroy your life to like think that that's the only thing that should ever work out, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. I think like, yeah, that's a really good outlook. I think that there's a lot of companies and like people who have come and gone from drifting. Like even in the amount of time that we've been doing it, like you've seen, like this brand pops up and then it's gone, and then like this person's like, I'm gonna do all this, and I feel like the ones that burn out are the ones that like dive in 150%, like crazy, and they're like, I'm gonna start a company and I'm gonna drift, I'm gonna be, and then it's like they hit that like
it's not sustainable.
Yeah.
And
what's that called in an airplane when you like pull up too fast? I don't know. And then it like makes the plane nosedive. Anyway, that's
that's what happens. They're fucking dead.
Yeah.
No, but I think
Or if it's one of the new Boeing planes.
yeah. But I think it's kind of, I don't know. I think any like I'm kind of like a weird person myself where like I talk to myself audibly, like not just not just like in my head.
Yeah, Jason, you're the nicest dude I've ever met. But when something's not going right when you're working on your car, I'm like, oh, all right.
Yeah. Oh, he gets angry? Yeah.
I was like, Jason's got that like demonic side that comes out when he's like working on cars and something breaks. It's like, all right, I'm gonna head out. Like,
But I think like I don't know. I feel like when if it's like not even speaking for the team or anything, but if I feel like I haven't posted in a while or like made some sort of something like to promote the team or myself or whatever, and like if I like start necessarily thinking that way, and then I like kind of get stressed out where I feel like I'm supposed to do this and it's not because I want to do it, like then I like every once in a while, I mean it's really not like it happens all the time or anything, but like kind of put myself in check and like realize that like, well, what, like I like drifting because it's fun, and like it was fun to drive with my friends at the beginning. Like it's always fun to drive with my friends, and like if we're not or I'm not or whatever, if there's not enough like posts going out or things like to advertise the team or myself or whatever, like it is what it is. Like
yeah, we're pretty fortunate to not have that pressure.
Yeah,
it's like no one on the team's like, hey, you didn't post today, like.
But I think that's
and like most of the people that like support us, it's like they like don't want it to look like we're they don't want us to do the like I mean like we do it when we can, and like they're for the most part happy, and I think we're really fortunate in that aspect. And it's sometimes that doesn't work for everybody, that doesn't work for every company, and like that's why you'll see like companies come and go or whatever. But I think like one thing I've really noticed is like our team definitely gets a fair amount of like new companies that are really interested in like getting us on board, and then they like we work together, and then they get their trajectory, and then they kind of just like branch out, which just seems to be pretty common at this point. But
like I think that's a kind of what burns out a lot of teams though, or like people who like have a group of friends, call themselves a team or whatever, and then they go super hard on it for a while, and they make it like a job where everybody on the team has to post X amount of posts every week, or like push something or one thing or another, and then at some point like it doesn't become fun for them anymore, and the team goes away. Same thing with like I think that's kind of what works for our team, is that like I don't think any of us really think of it that way, where it's just kind of like we do it when we want to or when we can.
We really only pressure each other to go drive, I think. That's the only pressure that we have. It's like, oh, you're not driving that event?
Well, yeah, and it's like a pressuring.
Sometimes it's not, sometimes it's not as bad. Sometimes it's like,
I mean, it's like it's only like at that point it's like peer pressuring your friend into come driving just because you want to go drive with them.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like, we really need to show up to this one. If we don't pull up and show everybody what we got, like that's it. You're off,
Yeah.
I always make jokes about Julian kicking me off the team.
Yeah.
Like to him, and
at least you're preparing yourself for when it happens.
I'm like, does this mean I'm off the team? And he's like, shut up. Like he's so annoyed when I say that, because it's like,
well, you found the comment to always like shut the argument down or whatever.
Yeah.
But I think that's kind of what like has seemed so far to like. I realize I also say like a lot, and I think a lot of people do that.
I mean,
trying to switch it up a little bit and not say it as much, but
I do too, man. It's fine.
I think that's
When this is over though, I'm gonna go back and edit every single time you say like out, and it's just gonna be like one of those YouTube videos where they like cut ahead every like 8 seconds. Yeah. So I came here to do this.
But I think that's kind of what has seemed to work for like our group of friends, is because we've kind of kept it just that and not tried to, we do the team stuff and we try to have like, do a refresh every once in a while, have cool looking cars, drive hard, whatever. But at the end of the day,
it's always it's a push to drive. That's it.
Yeah, and everybody's just trying to drive hard and have fun together. And I think maybe with people from the outside looking in on the team, I think that's what they like, because it's different from what some of the other, I guess, if you were to say like mainstream, where people are trying to push as much content out as they can. It's kind of, I guess, quality over quantity. So if we don't do it as much, like if we post something or if a video happens, it's because we wanted to do it, not because we felt like we had to do it. And so because we wanted to do it, or because we wanted to go drive, or because we wanted to do something, like it just looks better.
Yeah, I mean, like,
obviously I'm more biased. Like I could say, oh yeah, it looks better than all the others because it's our team, and blah blah blah. And
I mean, yeah. So yeah, I mean, everyone's got their process, but I think we definitely have our stuff kind of like.
It's a slow and steady Wednesday.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if that's like advice is, just enjoy the moment while you're having it versus like go crazy and try and put as much content out as you can. I mean, that's an approach, right? Like some people like doing that.
Yeah, but that's I mean, that's. I feel like no matter one strategy or another, it's always depending on person, the situation, the scenario, whatever. Like if you took somebody like Adam, for example, like he posts all the time. It seems like he likes posting all the time, and all the people who watch his videos like that he posts all the time. I think if he posted as often as we do, like it would just be, he wouldn't be a thing,
Yeah, why? Because we only put out videos once every like 5 months.
It's hard.
Our Canada video came out 2 years after the event,
and that was even out of our control.
Yeah.
But,
so like, I mean, it's like.
But it was a really good video. I really liked watching.
It was a good one.
Yeah,
I like that one. I'm gonna watch that after this is over.
I'm down for a once a year kind of thing, as long as it's really, really good.
shout out to Aviel on that one.
Yeah.
Thanks for finally. I literally like was like threatening him every time I saw him. I
thought you were supposed to leave him in. Oh no, it was when he came. Did he come back with you from Super
Washington? Yeah, I was supposed to leave him in Washington if he didn't finish the video beforehand. I was like, all right, man. And I was like, I'll give you a ride back, but we have to pick the song on the way back, and then we didn't. And then he picked a song that Austin suggested, but that's fine. That's neither here nor there. And that was for Washington? I don't know. I don't remember, man. This stuff's crazy.
Yeah, that was a while ago.
Yeah.
That Washington, that Super D video was a good video too.
Yeah, it was a good one.
That video came out. I mean, that one came out before the other one, which made me think that the Canada video was never going to come out.
For example, Adam LZ's video came out the day after. Our video came out like 6 months later or something. Which is, dude, it's fun. But that's the thing, like we're kind of no pressure, so.
Yeah. We literally don't have enough content to post twice a week.
Yeah.
Or once a week. Or maybe once a month, but that's pushing it.
I mean, to be fair, Adam gets to drive a lot, man.
Yeah.
I'm pretty envious of that. And the dude can drive. I mean, you beat him, but like, it was a good battle. Especially in a borrowed car.
He gets to drive a lot, and I think
he's got some loot. It's kind of nice. I wouldn't be mad at that. But you know, like that's his job. Like he has to like put those videos out, or he like does not get paid. You know,
Yeah.
so
maybe you should get him on at some point.
yeah, don't hate the player, hate the game. He doesn't even like. I've sent him like comments and stuff because he built a 1J E36, and like he doesn't read them or anything. He's like so many people that message him. I met him, I hung out with him, but you know, it's fine. I'm not really like upset about it.
Can I hound him too to like get him on your podcast?
I feel like that'd be really funny. Let's like do some more before I get the Adam Army, you know, coming after me for like asking probing weird questions.
That's true. Yeah, you're gonna have a lot of really. You're gonna have to sift through a lot of question potentials.
Yeah, I mean, I'm down though. It'd be cool. He's an interesting dude. He's got like a very like crazy like lifestyle that like not many people get to live. No. I'm sure it's like I bet it's exhausting, honestly, like at events or whatever, but like at the same time he gets to drive at like so many events, so it's like this like double-edged sword.
That's the typical kind of celebrity dilemma there.
Yeah.
It's like you're famous enough that you get to go do or be a part of cool things, but you also get to balance everybody trying to ask you every question every 2 seconds while you're there.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I feel like
I'm just hiding in the shadows, man. I show up to the drift events and everybody's like, "Why is there a BMW in parked with you guys? Like, what's going on?" I'm like,
that was your car, Palmer.
Yeah. We're like, "Who's that guy?"
Well, just let me know when you want to do an Ask Chassis again.
That was the question I got. So when I did Billy and Nez's podcast, Unexplored Lines, they're like, we got like 16 questions, but like 10 of them were, why did you switch from S chassis to E36? And I was like, all right. So I like kind of told the story, but.
Well, originally you wanted to drive the car around everywhere.
Yeah, I wanted a street car like yours, so I could go to events. Because I literally parked it in like a San Francisco gym parking lot for like 6 months or a year or something.
Yeah. And then that
couldn't have done that with the S chassis. It would have been gone.
Yeah. Well, I don't think that you should ever get rid of the E36 because it's like a good car and it's at a good point now. But if you wanted to build one in addition to it,
yeah, I think the goal eventually is to have some more space, like maybe move somewhere where I can have like a couple cars, and be nice to have a trailer and all that stuff. Like that's like the biggest limitation of me driving a lot is.
I guess you need a trailer before anything.
Yeah. It's my location and whatnot. So
I forgot your trailer plug also finished his car, so you can't.
Yeah. Yeah, Nacho's like the reason I drove as much as I did the last like 2 years, because he just, I'm like, can I borrow your trailer? Like, yeah. Can I bring it back late? He's like, yeah, I guess. He's like, just call me, I'll be sleeping. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure his wife Christy like hates me now because of that, but no, well, maybe not. Hopefully not.
As long as she's not mean to your face, then whatever.
Yeah, that's true. Take that W, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Man.
It's like a participation trophy. Doesn't mean anything, but it makes you feel good.
Exactly, dude. Yeah, you let me borrow your trailer like back in the day all the time too. That was like what got me to like Bash to the Future and like all kinds of events.
Yeah, I think you did. I mean, you only used it a couple times. In comparison to Nacho's trailer, like you practically didn't use my trailer, but like
you should have seen me trying to load my car when my car was like the absolute most slammed it was, S13 on 17s. Like you should have seen me this one time. I was by myself trying to load my car on your trailer.
Oh yeah.
Jason's trailer has a dovetail, but it's like this.
Oh yeah, it's like meant for construction equipment.
Yeah,
I didn't know that shit when I bought it.
There's like a metal seam, and my S13 was like on the ground. Every single time I would try and get it either on or off the trailer, by myself, I had to have like 15 boards and like jacks, and I had to like deal with like crazy maneuvering and stuff.
Yeah.
And I shot out like all of the boards, and it got stuck when I was by myself, like in the middle of nowhere. I had like a full-on meltdown. And it was like neighbors were like closing their windows and stuff. Yeah, but you know what?
Complaining about my trailer, but then me thinking like, well, you don't have to use it then.
Yeah, I don't know. I was young and reckless, and entitled.
Yeah. Yeah, still same trailer, and I have a fucking shell sitting on it that I need to get rolling so I can push off of it right now.
Yeah, so you got Ryan's
Old
S13, his hatch, and you're gonna build it up for Japan.
That's the plan currently. Like I have all the suspension stuff for it because it's like old stuff.
Hand-me-downs.
Yeah, old stuff for the drift car that I didn't get rid of, and like I forgot that I didn't sell like my old set of coilovers from the drift car, so like sick.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah,
and
that's sweet.
Just like needed to buy like some like stock knuckle or like rear knuckles, and like I'll do B knuckle from Julian, and then like suspension set.
Yeah.
Like it still has all the interior and the wiring and stuff. So like
sweet.
Now I have a motor that I got from Thomas, like just a disassembled SR that needs to be put together. And so like
you're gonna do it from scratch yourself? Nice, dude. That's cool.
Yeah, in my tiny ass little garage that 3/4 of the thing is taken up from my daily. But
yeah, I've been in there. You like can't walk by the car. That's why the mirrors are folded in.
Yes.
It's Japan spec. It's like a Japan spec garage. You need auto folding mirrors.
Yeah, chances are though, like they would go bad, and then I wouldn't care that they didn't work anymore. So yeah, right. Like current plan, Ryan's car is like tossed together with like secondhand suspension stuff, and then like build an SR for it. Just maybe some forged pistons, but like stock rock, like as just like an OEM rebuild with maybe just better pistons, and then test it out here, get all the kinks out here and stuff, and then send it over to Japan and leave it there for when we go. So then I'll also have a left-hand drive car that I'm like comfortable in Japan too.
I might need to do that, man. I don't know. You guys got me like, I don't know how I would do it, but I feel like I should do it. We'll see. We'll see how the next like year or so plays out.
Yeah. All this. There's shell options, Palmer. I got you if you need a hookup.
Don't tell me, man.
Yeah.
I feel like if I ship the Beamer to Japan, people would be like hyped on that car because it's like so different out there.
You see that Denofa is shipping a Beamer to Japan? I don't know why it popped up in my feed, but like it did, and I was like, oh, okay, because I know cool. that's like they're kind of hyped on BMWs because they don't really have them.
Yeah, they're like super uncommon there, especially like M stuff.
Yeah,
it's like all 318s and like tiny motors because all the but they exist. They're definitely there. They're just like rare. People aren't gonna drift them. They're like if it's an M, it's like a track car or like someone important's car. Yeah, so like all the like, Japanese guys like think I'm like balling because I have like an M.
Yeah.
You know, drift car. Like, what's this idiot doing? It's like, little does he know, it's like way cheaper than an S chassis.
Yeah, I mean, they should buy it from here. And
like, no, man, this is like a junkyard car, and an S chassis is like
more expensive now.
Yeah, I'm like $30 headlight, $500 headlight.
Yeah,
per side.
Yeah. Well, maybe BMW Japan car. Like I was just because I mean ideally it would be like buying. I was just trying to think about it, like figure like $10,000 like Japan car or something will get you like an S chassis, like turboed SR, nothing like super crazy. But then like you're buying it over here, you've never driven it before, so you don't know what's wrong with it, and like
like
can't put shit on it's super old.
Yeah, like when we went and Julian bought that car, it was like, and they did their best to like make it as nice as possible as they could, but like it definitely like it had been a drift car for a very long time.
Yeah, and it's like so you have to expect that a little bit. So I guess part of what was appealing with trying to do one here and then send it over there is that like
It's good.
I'm not like you're not using your vacation to try and like get the kinks out of a car over there
Right.
necessarily, but like I can it can be left-hand drive, so I'm also like used to it. It's like I mean like Tomoya or like
Yeah, they ship their cars. They don't
right.
come by drive left-hand
Like
drive cars. Yeah.
Naoki's sending a Sylvia over here. It's like everybody's shipping what they're comfortable with overseas so they can be comfortable.
Well, and like that's the whole thing. Like if you go to another country and you're gonna go drive, like you want to be good.
Yeah, but I guess I guess after New Zealand, I was really like, yeah, I need to get a right-hand drive car so I can get good at right-hand drive. But then I also was thinking about it too, like, well, what's the difference if I just put together a car here and like sent it over there so I'm just like really comfortable.
Yeah.
And I guess because like Julian will say every once in a while that he still doesn't feel as comfortable in a right-hand drive car as he does in a left-hand drive car, which he's been driving. I mean, obviously from the outside you wouldn't be able to tell,
yeah.
but like, it just kind of made me think like, well, fuck, like he's been driving that car for a little bit now, and he's still like Julian's an amazing driver, and he still feels like he's not as good as in a right-hand drive car as he is in a left-hand drive car. And
he's definitely getting good.
When we go do things overseas, like I would prefer to be at like on my A game, my like A++ game.
Yeah.
And so
I mean, yeah, I can talk on that. Like I've gone over there and driven right-hand drive cars, and both times, like I felt like I should have even gotten behind the wheel,
Yeah.
Like because it takes so long to get comfortable.
I think for New Zealand, like I think maybe I like drove as well as I could have, but like the whole time, and you start getting frustrated with yourself because like the whole time you're like out on track and you're like, I know I can drive way better than what I'm driving right now.
Yeah.
And, like, no, yeah. When you feel like you're decent or you're okay at something, like you don't like feeling like you then suck at it.
That's for sure. Jason, you're speaking to my feelings every drift event. Better than this, I swear.
So I'm just excited for like the next couple drift events now, because now your car's like most of the stuff sorted out of it.
Yeah, I need to do an external wastegate and maybe like top off the tune now that I've changed some stuff, because I did like bigger intake and air filter and stuff, because I had like a little tiny one. I realized it was probably, and I want to put it on like a actual dyno, not like the speed related dyno where it says like your miles per hour and how much horsepower it makes.
Yeah.
I want to see what like it, because it went up and then it just tapered off. And I think like I was on triangles too, so maybe it wasn't putting all the traction down or whatever. I think I'm just saying that because I wish it was more power, but it feels like way more power than I think it actually said on the dynograph. We'll see. I'm like learning all that stuff. The ECU stuff's been like stressful but like fun.
Well, yeah, and I mean you're able to. I mean you're trying to do it yourself too. I mean, as far as like figuring it out and stuff, so it's only gonna get better from that.
Sure.
And I would just say like, is you're saying you can set you can have different limiter settings?
Yeah. Why? Because my limiter sounds terrible.
You should just make it like more
not bad. Yeah, there's like
I think because like I mean we're both of our cars are on links, and like mine definitely has like that like link limiter, like when you compare my limiter to like Julian's like Power FC or something.
Yeah. Well, because I think ours pulls ignition and his pulls fuel.
Well, mine pulls fuel.
Does it?
Yeah,
Okay. Mine pulls ignition. I think that's
yeah.
why mine's
Because
not.
that's like a big no-no with SRs. You pull ignition and you keep leaving fuel. That's all your rocker arms are like, yay! Yeah. But
I don't know. I was like messing with it. I was like changing between like ignition and fuel and stuff and like revving it in the shop. I was like, I probably should learn more about this before I like blow up my
it's
motor.
cool. I think with the JZ, you get away with it. It's cool if you did like ignition cut, because then
Yeah.
you can
Right
just
now
flames and shit.
I have like soft cut at like 7,000. It's a 1JZ VVTi, so it should be like 7,200. And I was like, took the HPA class on Link, and so I know what all the settings do. I just don't know what they mean exactly. So I think I need to like sit down with some geniuses and
Yours
get
just
the
needs a
download.
little bit more of a like rapid fire.
Yeah, the dun 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 is not
Mine does
cool.
that kind of same thing where it's like a prap 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 kind of thing, but
Yeah,
mine still does it quicker.
yeah, mine's
Like
real slow.
yours like prap prap. Like,
Yeah, it's bad. Yeah, well, I didn't have any time to figure it out, so I'll work on that.
Jeez, Palmer.
You're like the 15th person to tell me that my rev limiter sounds terrible, so
Well,
it's fine. I'll take care of it.
I was
See,
just,
this is the bullying that happens within the team. It's like
I was just super stoked that we're actually able to like come there with your car working and stuff, because it was like extremely last minute, down to the wire, kind of like your car just not working for the event at all.
Yeah, I was super stressed. I had like someone at work get called in for jury duty who does a job that I used to do, so I had to do his job and my job and try and get my car done in like 2 weeks, and I was like literally having like stressed like dreams. Like I would like work 12 hours and then I'd go to the shop for 5 hours and then I'd sleep for like 6 hours and I would just have stress dreams all night. Yeah. Hi, Francesca.
Recording? Am I messing up your podcast?
Yeah.
Yeah, get guys only.
Welcome to drifting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like you guys haven't seen each other for a month or something.
I know. Even if
2 hours.
Even
yeah,
if I
last time I saw you, that shirt said "Stay Silver."
Oh my god. Are you sure Francesca's not pregnant after that joke?
Hard
Yeah.
to I resisted so long, huh?
Yeah, even if I don't get anything out of this, it's still like fun because we're hanging out.
Yeah, I mean, really, when you had said in the team chat when we were supposed to have a barbecue here, of like getting on a Zoom call, like a Zoom meeting with everybody, like we should probably just do that anyways.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be for anything.
Yeah.
Could be like a Friday night barbecue.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Not everybody has to join, but if they want to, we can.
Yeah. Like make yourself a hamburger and get yourself a beer, and then everybody sit around their computer
and just talk shit. It'll be fun, right?
Yeah. Which I'm assuming that's probably what you guys do on a Seto anyways, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, kind of. Yeah, but yeah, once you get your setup going, then jump in, talk some smack, it'll be fun.
Dumais is doing up my PC.
Nice. Yeah, we were playing with him yesterday.
And Julian's trying to get me the same stuff that he has, but apparently all wheels are sold out like everywhere.
Everywhere, yeah.
Which makes sense. I mean, everybody's getting on Sim. I'm just late to the party.
What happened to Julian's old setup? Just like run that for a little bit.
I think he said the force feedback was kind of broken in it, and he had tried it on a Seto before he got his new wheel, and he said it was just like he said I could if I wanted to, but it's like really bad.
Well, I mean, maybe it'll be like good to learn on that, and then when you get a good one, you're like, okay, now I can actually do this.
Yeah, maybe. Probably. I think I was gonna go into Santa Rosa next weekend anyways, so we'll see.
Yeah, it's like learning with a KA.
Like a KA that like one of the tie rods are bent and like
low compression KA.
Low compression, and it's got no power steering.
Yeah, because you can get down in a KA.
Yeah.
Yeah, no power steering. There you go. It's a KA car with no power steering.
And then everybody says, "Oh, I drift no power steering all the time." Like, well,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's not-
when your car is set up to have power steering and it doesn't have power steering, it's bad. When
Yeah.
your car is set up to not have it and you don't have power steering, there's no issue. Like the Corolla guys that run manual racks and stuff are like, "I drift no power steering all the time." It's like, yeah, because your car's meant to not have it.
Yeah, your car weighs 8 pounds.
Yeah. So yeah, rant over on power steering. No power steering. I'm power steering for life, so
That's the
I'm
game.
not trying to get my hands cut off on a crazy entry or something.
Shove your hands through the wheel. Ah!
You call me Nubs from now on.
Oh man, that would be a terrible way to lose your hands.
Yeah.
But on a positive note, you
Like,
have power steering, so
Then I have to be like opposite, like hand control car and just do fucking like.
that'd be crazy.
Actually, there's the one guy, I don't know his name, with the R34 that drifts. He doesn't have arms.
Really?
One foot steering, and 1 foot gassing. Yeah. There's a video.
That's the coolest thing I've ever heard.
Anyways, so yeah, I can't say shit.
Yeah,
If life cuts any of my limbs off, I have no excuse.
yeah, dude, you just gotta go for it.
Yeah, but
Dude,
I'm
that's so cool.
thankful for these hands. Yeah,
Yeah,
and thankful nobody catches them.
I was gonna make a joke like that, but it didn't. Cognitively, I'm just not there.
I set myself up for it, and that's usually the only way it kind of works out.
Hey man, it was good. I liked it. Well, I think we did I think that was like an hour and a half or something.
Yeah, it's pretty good, I guess. It's keeping me from doing homework right now, which currently I'm in like a code stuck right now with my class. So
sick, dude. You should show me. I want to see. It's probably too math smart for me.
Well, I don't know.
I'm just like a crappy like hack. I'm a hack.
Can I
Yeah, you can share your screen. Let's see what you got.
video settings?
Share screen at the bottom.
Oh shit, hold on. There's no share screen at the bottom.
Of the window that we're on.
Oh, maybe because I have it fucking.
All small. Do you have it like super minimized?
I don't have it super minimized, but
It might be up top.
start share. Maybe it's different. Okay.
Yeah, just be careful that you share, dude.
Oh, you can see my homework? Can you see it?
Yeah.
So this is like, I'm just stuck in like this if else if scenario I have going on here.
Yeah. If pot dot pause, so is that like a pot position?
No,
like a
this
potentiometer.
Yeah.
So it's a potentiometer position.
So we have these like, we bought these little maker kits.
Yeah. Oh, it's an Arduino.
Yeah.
Sick.
And so we're doing. It's like you have to simulate using this like push button for like a brake light, and then using a potentiometer for like synced in with a servo. So you like turn up the potentiometer and it like adjusts you have the servo as like a windshield wiper.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, it's just this statement. I had just like, I don't know, I went through it and like uploaded it, and then it didn't do anything, and then now I have to sift back through all of it and figure out why it's not working. But anyways, yeah.
Wait, where's digital? Okay, I can maybe help you with this.
So
I mean, maybe not right now, but I can help you with this once I end this.
well, I'll have to figure it out by like, how do I think this will end the meeting, right? If I
No, you can just close it. You can just hit stop share and it'll go away.
stop share. There we go.
Nice. I wanted to get my teeth fixed before I started this, but I'm just gonna run them like Danny Brown.
That's a lot of money and a lot of time. You're gonna have to plan this podcast for like next year when your braces come off.
Yeah, well, you gotta invest in yourself, you know, especially if you're gonna be on the internet.
Can't you just like Photoshop some like pearly whites?
I'm like asking people what I should call this podcast. And Ash from Hero Prince or whatever his company is called now. I don't think he does Hero Prince anymore. He's like the other animal style guy.
I mean, I don't want to say you should call it that because like you're one of us, Palmer. We're all together.
Mm-hmm.
But it would be funny.
That would be funny. The other animal style guy with unknown.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's like just a random title that's like kind of bad, but it's funny.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I don't know how to end this shit because, like, I guess I would do like questions or I would have you give somebody like life advice or like because that's how all podcasts end, you know. Or like
maybe you could do like you could just do like an abrupt ending and just
cut it off. Like, what happened?
Yeah, just make it. Just do like an anti like Jared, like do like a Jared Deanda kind of thing, but like let's get ready to end it. And just like,
I refuse.
Yeah.
I think
okay, so no send kind of things because Formula D, and no D kind of things because Wild Out ruined it. Which you can edit that out, obviously, or you can leave it in here. Sorry, everybody, you overused the word D, and now we can't use it anymore. I'm just gonna call it rifting. I'm not drifting anymore. I'm just...
Oh, that's good. That's quality. That's top notch. Yeah. See. Yeah. We're here for the rift. Yeah. Luxurious rift.
Rift raft. You can call it that.
I think that's already somebody. Drift raft? Isn't that like a person? I don't know. There's also Riff Raff, who's also a person.
It could be a good, you know.
The Peach Panther.
Bridge.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna call it. We'll figure that out later. I have to name it before I put anything up, though.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get a couple of these like lined up and then just like
rapid fire.
Yeah.
That content
like, Jason.
Twice a week. Yeah.
They were like, "Oh shit, you made one with Jason?" I'm like, yeah, we're friends. He's just helping me out. Just like when we go to a drift event, and I'm pissed because I can't figure out the line, and then we do lead follow, and then I drive good.
Yeah. We need more driving. I'm hoping so it's like, have you been using Assetto for a while? You've had a computer set up for a while.
Yeah, but I didn't play online because I couldn't get my internet connection to be like stable enough, and then so I ran a wire across my living room.
Oh.
And then it was good enough so that I could play. I think my router just wasn't that good.
Would you say it's like pretty like? I mean, obviously it's better than nothing. Like right now, we can't do anything drifting.
I mean, it's better than nothing. It's not like it's good. It's good practice in some ways, and then I think it builds some bad habits. But I think you can break out of those when you get in your car. Essentially, yeah. Like it takes like a little bit. You're like, oh, I'm not playing a video game. Okay, I have to like actually drive.
Yeah, and I think like the biggest thing for me. I mean, also I suck at Assetto and like most sim games and stuff because I don't have one. And anytime I go to Julian's, I just am terrible. But
you just have to play for a long time.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
Like long, like don't play for a half an hour, play for like 4 hours, and then you'll start getting comfortable.
Yeah.
Like that's what I've had to do. But like it's hard to play for 4 hours if you're not playing online with friends and you're talking to them. So like that, once I started doing that, that's when I got good. Julian was just good right away, of course.
Yeah. Well, I think like because I'm so used. I think that's just the difference between like sim drifting and drifting in real life is like I'm so used to like all the little feedbacks from the car when you're doing stuff.
Yeah, that's where it's weird.
Yeah. And so you don't feel anything while you're sim drifting. You're, oh, the car should be doing this, but blah.
Yeah. Like turning onto the front straight at Mahon, like I'm always like, whoa, you know.
I always do some weird like can't get this car to just like go back to straight. It keeps like
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like you kind of like get the timing down. It's not. It's like it's good because it's harder than regular drifting. So that like when you get in your car, you're like, oh, I can do this. You know, like you're like, oh, the car goes where I want it to go, and I can like feel where the car is going. So it's like I think it's good practice. I'm trying to like, you know me, like I'm trying to get my chase game up because I haven't won a drift comp and I haven't won a tandem battle in like 7 years. I haven't done that many drift comps because I was like anti-comps, and now I'm kind of
want to do some.
I've been drifting for 10 years and I want to like actually podium for once, or
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, no, it's fun to do comps, everyone.
Yeah, I mean you're good at it.
Thanks. I just
trying to learn from the bros, you know.
I just, I wouldn't say I hope other people make a mistake, but I hope I don't make the mistake.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But I think with the sim stuff, it's really good for like the quick kind of like visual cues and like brain kind of like grab the handbrake or like let off transition, like transition timing and like certain little things. But then it's not until you get into the car where you get like the feedback from the car that actually dictates kind of what you're doing.
I was talking to he's actually my boss. He does like endurance motocross races, and I'm like, man, there's like a race every weekend.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, you guys get to drive or you get to ride so much, you know. And with drifting, it's like I'm lucky if I get to do an event every month, let alone every like 3 months.
Yeah.
So, but then I thought about it and I was like, oh, you can't sim ride a motorcycle. Like,
no, yeah, that's.
I mean, unless you have like some crazy setup, and you can't sim ride a like dirt bike. You can't get air in your living room, right?
Yeah.
So like drifting, we kind of have something, which is nice. Yeah. So like I want to take more advantage of that, and that's something I kind of like.
It kind of like evens kind of a like seat time playing field with people who have a lot of money and they can just like do real drifting all the time, and like people who just like the regular person who's scraping by with their car and stuff. Still get a lot of like seat time. And
there's some kids on there that rip, man.
Yeah,
like, that are incredible. But I think once they get in a car, it is different. Like you need to know like what a car is like before you get really good at the game, because like not all of it transfers over.
Yeah,
and there's like some very key important things that like don't transfer. Like you can't just jump in a drift car and like, but if you drift a little bit in a regular car and then you like jump in the sim stuff and you get really good at the sim stuff, it will, you know what transfers and what doesn't.
Yeah, and then you just progress. At least like starting off, you progress pretty quickly.
Yeah. I don't know, get your setup and we'll play.
Yeah.
I'm trash, so it'll be fun.
Yeah, we'll just we'll have the work. Actually, that's what you should podcast while we both play a set out together like terribly.
Down.
And maybe it'll be like it can be like a video to like make people feel better about their Assetto playing if they feel like they're not very good.
Yeah, then I can start streaming and install my bathwater.
Yeah. Palmer's virtual tire dust, $5.
Oh man, we should start selling our tire dust off our cars. That's a good idea.
Good.
No one will buy it.
Yeah. Try doing that. We'll have
little baggies. Like, why are you shipping little baggies full of like dark black
Yeah.
squishy stuff across the country.
Yeah. Like, oh, yeah. People like my tire dust. Plus, it's laced with PCP. Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, that's it. That's it.
How do you practice? How you gonna end this, Palmer? How you gonna end this?
I mean, you made a PCP joke. It's over, dude.
From the guy who literally does not do drugs.
Yeah, dude. What is this, training day?
Yeah, this is like the person who kind of will like maybe say something like, "Yeah, I know what it is," and has no idea. Yeah.
Yeah, Jason, you are the
internet told me about drugs, and that's how I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's I don't know. You're a good person.
You want to ask me if I've ever done drugs?
Have you ever done drugs?
No.
Okay.
I hate it.